Hello, hello, welcome.
Hey
Bev, we're
everyone.
live. We're
Yes.
live. Thanks for coming on, Bev. I'm so excited
Oh,
tonight.
thanks for having me on, Linda. We got a lot going on, as everybody's probably feeling already.
We do. Oh, so what I wanted to tell you right before we were going live, what I wanted to say was, well, first, welcome everybody if you're here to watch the show. If you can't tell, I'm like really excited to talk to Bev about things tonight. We were just talking before we hit the live button. We realized we went past the time a little bit. Sorry. And I wanted to tell you about that stapled piece of paper thing that you gave me because I don't know, for the life of me, I was like looking at, I wanted to know what all the Sabian symbols were. So I was going
Yes.
through it and I was trying to catch up and like keep up to date, but I always seem to catch a video if it's a day after. So I'm always a day behind it. It seems I'm like, how do I get caught up and know exactly what's going to be this morning? I wake up and this is what it is. So I wanted to ask you, how do I know that? How do I find out?
You can go into astrology, like cafe astrology or astrodeanist, and you can pull up the chart for the day, and it'll show you where all the planets are at and all the signs for the day.
Okay. All
And
right.
there's
I'm going to check
also
that.
there's also if anybody else is interested in learning and just looking at their own charts and stuff, is there's an application called Astro Matrix, and it will also give you the planets and where they're at every day, and that's a free app, so you can pull it up first thing in the morning and look at, okay, here's where everything's at today, and see what the Sabian symbols are. That's been my quickest way.
All right. Astro Matrix.
Matrix. It's a free app. I got a Galaxy and Android.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you. And before we get into tonight's uh, tea or coffee, not funny.
Coffee.
I want to just mention one thing right off the bat, and that's if anybody's making a PayPal donation to me, first of all, thank you very much. And second, make sure that you check the handle or only use the links that I provide on my website because I'm not Lynda Light on PayPal. So if anybody, it's come to my attention, somebody made a donation to Lynda Light and they haven't been able to get the money back. So if you're Lynda Light out there on PayPal, then enjoy that donation or, do pay
Oh
it forward
man.
somehow. Pay it forward, not asking for it back. But anyway, just want to mention, please only use my links and Teach Peace on there or Teach Peace Designs. I'm not sure, but follow my own links for that. Thank you. And also, the security defense course that I'm teaching is going to be out next week. It's a two-part class, a two-part course, and I'm really excited. The first part's more like a lecture, second part's more like a presentation, and there'll be more. I'll be making more announcements on that. This is just sort of like a sneak peek. You guys get to hear it first, and I'm going to give you a few more updates later on in the show. But Bev, thanks again for joining us because there's a lot of things with Uranus being retrograde and the new moon, and I know that you've been doing a lot of deep dives and digging. So please tell us, because we can all feel these energies. We can all feel things have come to either a halt or whatever. And I'm guessing that's Uranus retrograde from what we've
Uh,
said. Like, what is happening?
that's Uranus stationing retrograde. It did that on the 24th, and it's almost, because it deals with our nervous systems, with it's electrical and everything. It's almost like a Mercury retrograde in a way. Because I was talking to my sister today, and she was telling me a little story, and I said, "Oh, that's exactly why. No, it's not Mercury retrograde, but what you're telling me, yeah, it's Uranus retrograde." Somebody having, and it seems like different things that I tried to do today, it just dropped the ball, or just it felt like a Mercury retrograde.
It's weird. It's weird because whether it's communications or travel or something, and then you just kind of stop and you go, hold on, can I do a redo? And I'm going
Yes.
to throw myself right under the bus on this one because I was on the phone with my daughter and I said something and I can't believe I heard it come out of my mouth the way it did. And it was almost like, whoa, that's an old program running. Like, that's not me anymore. And I had to literally stop myself. And then because she had corrected me with a question mark, like, really? Like, did you just say that? I'm like, ooh. And it came to my mind, like, later I was thinking about it. It wasn't bothering me or anything because I know that's not who I am or how I want to present myself. But it crossed my mind again. It's like going back. That's not who I am. Is that who I was? No, it's not who I was. It was who I was programmed to be. And there's a big difference. So as we're
Yes.
getting to know ourselves through all of this, we have to be able to forgive ourselves because there's not one person out there that hasn't said something offensive or done something offensive or been offended by the word offended or whatever. Like that whole narrative about being offended, we've all offended and we've all been offended. So I think we can all just kind of drop that and just move, keep correcting each other. Because if somebody says something to like, whoa, hold on, did you mean to say it like that?
Yes.
And I'm just on a soapbox right now because I just went through it today and I was the one who needed to correct. You know what I'm saying? We all do it. We all make mistakes, but let's be patient with each other because nobody's perfect. And I don't care who you are and what your belief systems are. We all need to reevaluate at a certain point, every bit of it, because we've all been lied to too, right?
Yes.
Lynda on her tangent again. All right, Bev, please tell us about
that's
Uranus.
okay.
How long is this going to last?
I'm chuckling about your story because right now we have Gemini, we have Mars in Gemini, and that's about communications and blurting things out. Okay. And we have it squaring Venus. Okay. So it's things about our values. And also it's Mercury right now is in Libra. So it makes those things easier to back up and say, whoa, I didn't mean to say it that way. So yeah, that's part of the astrology that I was going to talk about tonight. So that's really funny that you said that. And as I see these things come up, it's hilarious.
And I always tell myself like, okay, I'm just going to shut up and let you talk because that's how it is. But when what it's like when something's coming through and it has to be said. And it was like, I kind of had like a premonition that I was going to be going off on a little tangent, and I'm like literally lighting my candles in the background and I'm making the ritual going, please just let soul come through gently and not obnoxious or abrasive because, and that's my moon sign, and my moon sign balances my sun sign quite well, I think, but not always when I speak. Not always when I speak.
No, and you and I have got that Gemini energy in our charts, and that's how you and I can keep up with each other. Anybody else probably wonders sometimes, where did they go? How did they get there? And I try not to do it. I really try hard not to, but it's like my mind is 5 steps ahead of my brain sometimes. So that's a lot of it. But okay, let's see. Get back to the Uranus retrograde. Yeah, that happened on the 24th, and it's slowed down. It's been hanging out at 18 degrees of Taurus for quite a while now. And it's going to retrograde back to 14.5 degrees of Taurus. And then it's going to move back forward and go back over that 18 degrees of Taurus and then go forward. So this is kind of a time of, again, reevaluating, reassessing, reprioritizing, looking at those Taurus areas of life, which again is what we value. And I mean, after the things that we've been through in the last 2 years, or even look back 6 months, my gosh, we've been changing so much because there's been so much coming in and people have been digging in and doing the hard work. And it's been hard, but when you see the benefits that you have from it, and this is like, okay, so when it goes back and it goes retrograde, then it'll come back and give you a chance to, okay, once we get here, how do we want to reassess this? So it's basically going to hang out at 18 degrees of Taurus for, I think it's up until, on my other notes here. It's until like the second or third week of January that it'll hang out there.
That's a long time. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not like a Mercury retrograde now. This is not a couple of weeks. It's like 3 weeks or anything. This is like at least 3 months, if not longer, like 4 or 5 months.
Right. And Pluto and Uranus are two of the slowest moving planets. So it takes Uranus 84 years to get all the way around the zodiac cycle.
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yes.
All right. So this is like literally the once in a lifetime event, right? That Uranus being in this particular location during your life. It's like, unless you're going to live to be 160 years old, which, I mean, give us the med beds, we might stay a little longer.
Yes. But, only with the med beds. Let's put that little clause in there. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, so Uranus is moving around. It takes 84 years to go around. And here's the interesting thing too. This is why it's this big astrology right now, is it was conjunct the North Node. And that's a rare thing. Yes, we've had it in Taurus before. I think it was back in 1929 or 30, but it wasn't conjunct the North Node, which is about the destiny and the future. So it's a big deal. And then we had Mars. We had that Mars join it, that conjunction a couple of weeks ago. I think it was the beginning of August we had that. So this is major evolutionary astrology from one end to the other, no matter where you look at it.
Once in a lifetime kind of stuff. And when you say that too, I swear, I feel like you're telling me that's my chart, like my North Node in Taurus, and or is it in Taurus? You said. I
Hang on,
think
I
you
got
said
it here.
that.
Hang on a second.
Betty,
Okay, that's
girl,
my chart.
thanks for
Where's your?
joining us. Oh, okay. So Uranus just went retrograde on the 24th, and it's going to stay retrograde until in
Up
Taurus
till
until sometime in January
yes,
2023. And
yes.
Betty, this is like once in a lifetime, once every 80 some year kind of thing. I mean, it goes through all the signs, right? It takes, you said 84 years to get through all the signs,
Through all 12 signs, yeah.
but
So it
some it might
cycles
stay a little longer. Some it, but it's
depending
not with the
on
North Node. The North Node's a once in a cycle thing too, right?
right. So it's two different cycles, and for those cycles to line up together, that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened in hundreds of years. Put it that
Oh,
way.
okay.
I mean, we've had the North Node there, which was during excuse me, Uranus and Taurus, which was during the time of the Depression, the stock market crash, but the North Node wasn't there then. So now we have that same energy, but the North
And the
Node
North
there
Node.
of taking it, yeah, taking it further. And what are we going to do to fix things?
Okay, I like that. I like that. See, the North Node, we don't have to be afraid of the North Node. If the North Node is like, you came here to do business, you came here to do your business and get her done, right? That's what
Yep,
I
that's what
feel.
you came to do. Your North
Okay.
Node tells what you came here to do.
Wow. It's a big one. It's a big
Yes,
life.
yes,
I feel it. I feel it all the time, Bev. I feel like in everything that we do, it's like if it doesn't have meaning, and I know I shouldn't be this serious. I do have a part of me I have to learn to balance, that I've been learning how to balance, because thank God my moon sign will balance my sun sign. But it's still something you have to pick up and learn when you have weaknesses. And I tend to just be very, very serious. So I have to kind of allow myself to be that inner child and play again. And I've had to let her out of timeout and go find her when she was hiding and when she was lost, and heal her and comfort her and love her, and just sort of raise her again within myself, within that unconditional love state, and say it's okay to play again, it's okay to love
yes,
life and be okay and be happy and be safe, and regardless of what it seems like out there, I got you. It's like I had to sort of remember and give that to myself, which I wanted to receive. So you have to do it within first, and then maybe someday it'll manifest something else. No, I don't mean it like that. I've got a lot of support.
I'm taking a drink of coffee.
No, that's not what I mean.
Oh, don't get me started laughing, Liz. Don't get me started laughing today.
Oh boy, I call it the sacred warrior path, so it's all good. It's all
Yes,
fine.
the path of 1,000 cuts. Yeah,
+1.
+1. Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
let's see. We threw Uranus out there, so that's what happened on the 24th. And I found it interesting too. And this is something a little out of the lines of astrology, but I don't know how many people are watch some of the different things in space and all that. But CERN crashed the same day Uranus went retrograde, and I found that very interesting.
Oh my God, I saw something about CERN from World News. I didn't see, I just saw a title. So I knew something happened to CERN, but I didn't know what it was.
Yes, it
Did it
crashed the
crash?
same day Uranus went retrograde. I found that amusing, very
It's
amusing.
hilarious. It's
Because I'm not
hilarious.
sure what my thoughts are on that, if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I still really
No, it's a
haven't dug
galactic thing.
into it enough.
It's a location 2 galactic thing, is what they're saying.
Okay.
They're coming online, and it's like basically, it's like when it's, think of they're showing me cogs in a wheel, and as they turn, and when things go click 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 and line up, and the gate opens, and they're just like, we're here,
Okay.
we got
That makes
this, like,
perfect sense then.
yeah.
That makes perfect. And then that big blackout we had on the Schumann last night.
I didn't see that. But I felt there was some dizzy things and stuff going on, so yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that's what
so
I
all
felt.
that happening with Uranus, just stationed in retrograde, just sit and watch things. Again, it's almost like a Mercury retrograde.
All right,
But
wait, Bev, tell me about this though before you go on to the next part, because I know you have other things you want to talk about too. But the when Uranus is retrograde, Uranus,
mhm.
sorry, I still say that. Why do I do that? Okay,
It took me a while to.
I've been doing good. I haven't yet, but I just all right. Anyway, um, when Uranus is retrograde. And now I forgot what I was going to ask you. Never mind. Continuing on.
Okay. All right. So that happened on the 24th. And then on the 25th, we had Mercury enter Libra. Mercury does well in Libra. And when you have the four cardinal signs are Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, Aries. So those four signs, when anytime something's at 0 degrees of that sign, so it'd be Libra or Aries, Capricorn. Oh, I just got lost again. I'm having a moment, Lynda. What did you do to me?
You know why? You know why? Because I know we were connected in telepathy earlier. I know we were. And so, and this time, because I was saying, I remembered what it was. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm going to write it down. So you were probably like, shut up.
Okay.
All right. So wait, let's go back to this. I wanted to ask you about, you said something earlier in the week when we were talking about this, about like lightning strikes or aha moments with Uranus retrograde, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We didn't really talk fully on live yet about Uranus retrograde and what that does. So like the lightning strikes are going back over points of review and things. Remember when you were telling me about this? Explain it to everybody else because you do so well at it.
Okay. Hang on a second here. Okay, so Uranus has been hanging out there at 8 degrees, and it's backing up to 14 degrees of Taurus. And Uranus is like the cosmic awakener. That's what they call him, the awakener. So it's the cosmic mind, it's cosmic intelligence, it's downloads. You have the North Node there with Uranus in Taurus, so you have things about the future. And it's giving you another chance to look over things and see what changes do I still need to make. That's whenever you go into retrograde, you're looking at what changes can I make. Okay, let's reevaluate this, reassess, because it's been a very hectic couple of years at least. So it's an opportunity to look back and go back through those same subjects and look at the same things in our lives, and things come out of the blue. Like you may just be sitting and you'll get an answer out of nowhere that'll pop into your mind about something you've not been able to come up with an answer to for who knows how long. It just comes. Things are put in your path. It's just like lightning striking. It's out of the blue, and it's very, very cosmically supported, I think.
And you've been experiencing that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
I have too. How you guys out there, put it in the comments if you guys are feeling
those light bulb moments. Yeah, those light bulb moments when you go, wow, I can't believe I didn't see this.
Right.
But I believe it's right on time.
It's like freaking cosmic lightning strikes though. Like it's almost like they're like, okay, you got this, boom, let's pile this one on and see how much you integrate, and then all of a sudden you got all this galactic knowledge and you're just like, and then boom, let's add this one. And then it's the next location, and then everything just gets so bigger, but it all makes more sense. Every piece that adds to it gives your human mind more peace of mind, because it's like a paradox, because the human mind can't handle things like, oh, I don't understand how time is circular. There is no time. Like, you ponder on things and you get
we have to compartmentalize. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. When these things happen, you just kind of go like in your brain,
Yes.
Well,
smoke coming out your ears.
And yes. When you have a piece of the puzzle that comes in that just gives you the whole picture, even though it's bigger, and yes, it might be more complicated, but it actually isn't. You get to see the beauty of how it all fits together, and it gives you more peace. It helps you to calm your systems down. Like your mind systems aren't going as crazy, and you actually have more clear communication about where you are, whatever location you're at. And I mean location, like you're in your physical body. Look at that as like the lower floor on the elevator, maybe not the basement. It's the basement in the physical, but say you're in the human body and that's at the bottom floor of the elevator. Like, how far up the elevator do you want to go? What location are you at? Oh my goodness.
And that's Uranus with the cosmic intelligence, and it's in Taurus, which is an earth sign. So we're finding ways to ground this information in as we're getting it.
Oh, I got to talk to you about that too. Thank you for saying that. First of all, welcome if you're here, Jeanette. Hey, Willow, Jade from View.
Hey, everybody.
Betty, thanks for joining us. You guys, it's awesome to see you. I have to interrupt you on this one too, because you said it when you said grounding it into Earth, right? one of the aha moments that I had. I was reading, it's somewhere else, Song of Wavuka, I think. And then I was reading The Last Ghost Dance by, I think it's Brooke Medicine Eagle or Medicine Woman. Anyway, when they were talking about the ghost dance, one book was talking about the ghost dance, then the next book was talking about it. And I find myself doing my mudras in motion, and it's like my Tai Chi at night and everything. And every once in a while, I got my Native American music on, and the next thing you know, I'm dancing with the natives. Like, and I'm literally standing in a little circle in my room, and yet so I'm at location. And then I was having soul memories, and it was about the dance, and the dancing is bringing the vision in through your physical body and using it to pound it down into the earth chakra. Your earth chakra, though, you're dancing it down in to connect to the grid. And it's like, we forgot that because we're only taught that it stops at our feet, or our roots take it down to the core of earth, but we're skipping the whole chakra down in the earth. And the Native Americans, when they would dance, would be pushing that energy down into that point of light beneath them. And then they all connected underneath on the grid. They made their own grids in circular formation. It was like a circle of life, a flower of life, right inside the earth grid. And it was like, that's why it was beautiful sacred land. It's like flowers of light grids underneath all the tribes. And I was like, oh man, so beautiful.
And I got that book out to read, Lynda. I got that book out to read. I couldn't find it, so I ordered a paperback copy. And I just got it in the other day because, after reading that one book I did, I'd like to read on that time period. So, but it's grounding it in.
Yep. And it's we do it through anything, but that's how they used to do it. That's probably why these soul memories are coming back in for a lot of us, you know?
Yes. A lot of those are coming online. This is a big time for messages and stuff too. We have a lot of communications and stuff coming through with Mars and Gemini. So we have the duality, we have the tons of information coming in. But what I started to say about Mercury entering Libra, okay, the Libra Aries and the Capricorn Cancer are the four axes. It's called access points, so it makes the square. But Libra, where 1 degree of Libra, where Mercury is at, it's on the world stage axis. So we're going to start seeing more come out, and we're going to be able to understand it in a better way, because Mercury in Libra is the scales and the justice who sits back and says, okay, I can see this, I can see both sides to it. And people are going to be able, I think, to be able to have those harder conversations. And I think it's going to be easier for people who are just awakening and things that are coming online now. It's going to fall into place. And I really believe that we're going to start joining back together and working together. And this is just the beginning of it. And the Mercury retrograde that we have in Libra, that starts the mid 9th or 10th, I think, of October. It's supposed to be a very spiritual one, and I got to take a deep dive into that. But I can see things being made easier as far as communications, because Mercury now is in Libra. So that will help things. And we've also got Mars up there in Gemini, and it's about the communications. And they work well together because Gemini and Libra are both air signs. So it's all about communication.
The Gemini communication, the Libra, the air. I was just looking at something with the air too, and I was thinking about how messed up my notebook is. Like, I write something here, and then I'll write like 10 pages later. Oh wait, let me go there and write that. I don't even know what my organization. I don't know who's writing half the time in this book.
I need to do that myself, because I write things that I need little tabs in between so I can find things. I noticed that this week because I've got so much. This astrology has been so voluminous that I've just had to keep 2 or 3 notebooks where normally I only keep one for a month. So it's been a little crazy.
That is crazy. Jeanette was saying, she's saying hi to Willow, and she was thinking of her the other day. She misses our time on Soul Sister Speak. Oh, Soul Sister Speak. That was a lot of fun with Sherry. And
yes, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a really good tribe for that project, didn't we? That was awesome.
Yes.
I mean, yes, that was about a year ago, wasn't it? We first started the end of August. Oh my God, it was literally like a year ago.
That long ago?
We started, we did the 144 roundtable with Michael, Sarah, and Sherry and myself on my channel. And then we started in with Soul Sister Speak on Sherry's channel on the next night, which was Monday. Yeah, that was about a year ago.
Good times. Does time fly? Yeah, for sure.
Good times. All right, well, that's how we met some of you guys. That's how everybody kind of comes together and everybody goes out. It's like, It's like the breath of the ocean. It rolls in, it rolls out. It's like the tides, everything's moving, which I noticed when I was filming my course. I noticed that I rock a lot of times. I'm like, I can't do this. I got to learn how to sit still.
I can't sit still in case of nobody's noticed me sitting on here, but yeah, I just can't. Move the energy, move the energy.
Yeah, well, you know what? Drinking coffee at this time of night is not the best idea either, but I
Yeah,
wanted
me
to be
too.
wide awake.
Me too.
Oh, did you hear that? Did anybody hear that
No,
clink? That was
you hit yourself.
All right. All right, moving right along here. What do we got?
Oh, okay, I was looking at, so we had Mercury enter Libra, and then we had, I think it's today. Is today the 26th?
Today is the 26th.
Okay, we had Venus in Leo trying Uranus in Taurus. And that's a good thing. With Venus and Leo, it's more about our self-identity, owning who we are, being comfortable in communicating what we need, what it is we want, reevaluating. So with Venus having that trine to Uranus, today was a good day for maybe putting some things down on paper, for maybe having some conversations. Just a very positive and supportive energy.
That's today? That's what it feels like today. That's exactly what it feels like. All right, cool.
Which
so
then
that's a little bit of the trine is always a good thing, right, Bev?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And then we roll into the big old August 27th Virgo new moon. And that comes in, and also while we were having the Virgo new moon, we've got the sun in Virgo squaring Mars in Gemini. So we got some interesting things on tap of this Virgo new moon.
So wait a minute. So the sun in Virgo is going to be squaring Mars in
Gemini. Yes.
And Mars and Gemini, they feel like they would make a good team, but it feels like somebody could possibly really gaslight somebody really bad with that one.
That could happen. That could happen. It's a time to really watch what you say, because words are not going to be kind of what I said earlier. Words can easily come out and maybe you didn't mean them that way, or find a way to be kinder and just realize that we're all exactly where we need to be.
I'm just going to take something across my mouth so I just don't speak. I'm going to go on one of those, what do you call it? Like a not eating thing. What do you call it? Not speaking thing. You know what I mean? Anyway.
I know what you're talking about, and the word is escaping me.
A silent retreat.
Silent retreat.
Jeez. Yeah, that's what I could do. I could do that one. Yep.
Well, we've got some interesting things with that Virgo new moon. Okay, so it's where the sun and moon are together, and it's the beginning of the lunar cycle. So it's all about new beginnings. And in Virgo, it's looking at, okay, it's in the first 4 degrees. It's at 4 degrees of Virgo. So we're starting at the first third. They call it the decan. 1 to 10 degrees is the first decan of each sign. 10 to 20 is the second decan. 20 to 30 is the third decan. So it's like a process within a process. There's like 3 stages. So at the beginning of Virgo, you're taking a look at some things and saying, okay, how is this going to work? Because Virgo is the analyzer, the detail person. He could break something down, kind of like, it's like Taurus is the other earth sign, the first earth sign, who gets the ideas, slow and steady wins the race. Then when it comes to the second earth sign of Virgo, you're looking at, okay, you've got these ideas. Now let's get out the spreadsheet, lay this stuff out, and see how we're going to make it work. So with that being, with the new moon there being in Virgo, I think it's going to give us some kind of stepping stone to the next pieces and parts, and it's going to be through those downloads that we're getting from the Uranus retrograde. So I think that's working hand in hand with us during that time. And there's a lot of aspects in this new moon. We've got, when you're looking at the basic Virgo and new moon, it's about what we do in a day. It's about our routines, you know, how we use our energy, brushing our teeth, cooking dinner. It's just about our daily, anything in our daily routines. And it's even looking at bringing the spirit, mind, and body all together. So it's a good time if there's any things that you want to change, any habits, or just make a tweak in your routine. Find something that you can make better. You know, kind of like you always say, Lynda, be a little bit better than you were yesterday. Yeah.
So that's
the same thing.
Moon? All right.
Yes.
I
And
like
Virgo's a
that.
grounding. Yeah, Virgo's grounding, so you can ground it in easier. And we need that grounding with that Uranus right now. We seriously need that grounding. So this is a good thing.
That's why they're bringing the last ghost dance up to my awareness again, because we need to ground our visions of a better world. And we need to ground that vision that we're not the victim. We're not waiting for someone to save us. We're not
Right.
constantly blaming everything we of us. It's like we need that. We need that to be
We
able
do.
to rise up and take that ownership, take the reins of our personal fields, take the reins of our sovereignty. Like that's what this is all. That's what this feels like. It's all about. You know.
Yes. Yes. And as you break it down into the layers, I can kind of see it coming together.
Oh, when you said degree, not degrees, it was a D word. Deacon? No. Yeah, the 10
Deacon.
deacons.
Yeah, when I was
Three
talking about the
deacons.
deacon, three
Is it three
deacons in
deacons
each
in each?
sign.
So when you said deacon, I started thinking immediately of decade. So it's sort of like 10, right? Because it's 10 degrees,
Yeah.
10 degrees, 10 degrees. Okay.
Right. Right.
I don't know why that
And
came.
and
It
being
helped
in
though.
different parts of the sign like that, it'll be okay. It's like the process. Here's the first part, the first 10 degrees, the second part. So a lot of people who come in with any planets at like 29 degrees, that's a big deal because that's finishing up whatever they've done in that particular sign. So those are called critical degrees 0 and 29. It's either you're starting out at the beginning, or 29, you're wrapping things up and taking it on to the next energy and next level.
That's 20. All right. So would that be almost like that's not the North Node then? That's not the same thing.
Uh,
Taking it to the next level. That's just what you came in to do in this life.
well, the North Node, yeah, is what you came in here to do in this lifetime. Yeah. So it's working with that together because it works with us all as a collective. Like the chart that I sent you, if you want
Oh,
to
yeah,
pop that
yeah.
chart up there a second.
All right, hang on. All right. Here we go. Now, should I zoom in on that or can everybody see that? Guys, leave a comment. Let me know if you can see it well or if you need me to zoom in or whatever we're doing. I've got to find it to be able to zoom in, don't I? There it is. How's that? Is that good? Hey, Angel. Angel Energy 22. Nice to see you here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a quick shout out because I believe you had left a comment under one of my videos a few videos back. I believe it was you. And you created, I was working on a security course to answer your questions. It's coming out next week. And also, I think I did call your fractals back or something about calling your fractals back. And that is in answer to the question that you left. Yes. Okay, good. It was you. All right. Well, I hope you got to see the video because that was really totally inspired by you to answer those questions. So, all right, Bev, now in this chart, go ahead and explain what you were going to explain.
Well, this chart here, okay, so this is the chart. This is a chart of the time where the planets are at in the solar system. So this is where you're looking at things as a collective. And then when you run your own chart, you can look at how that energy is affecting you in each house, in each area, if it's affecting any planets or points. So it's like having that chart and then putting a chart inside of it. And that's your chart, which is in the middle of that collective. And we contribute to it as we grow and spiritually put our energy out there into it. So we're all part of that cog and that wheel inside of it. But this is just looking at where everything is at in the sky right now.
All right. Do you want me to zoom in on anything in particular?
I just kind of wanted to show that we hadn't really put a chart up before, but yes, it's just basically learning the basics of astrology, the different signs. And when you see those lines in the middle of that, okay, when there's one line from one planet to another, it means it's making an aspect to it. A red line is a challenge and a hard aspect, and a green line is support. That's about the easiest way. So you can see we've got support lines in this chart. We've also got oppositions and squares, and then you start breaking them down in pieces like I was kind of doing here. But I thought maybe that might help a little bit just to kind of explain.
No, it's great. So, Bev, when you offer your class that you're going to be teaching, when you offer this, it's going to be a donation based from what I understand, right? And
Yes.
you'll set the minimum donation, I'm sure, at something, worthy, because you're an excellent instructor, and I can't wait to take this course myself. But there's some basics that I'm just missing, and I can't wait for it. But are you going to explain, like, like what some people may or may not already know this, but I think there's more people out there like me that might be like, well, if someone says something degrees of whatever, like, what do these mean? What do these mean? What are
Yeah,
these? This a planet
that's
in what house, and that kind of stuff. So you'll be teaching that kind of thing and how to
yeah,
read it.
just the basics of how to identify the different things in the chart. And then that way, if somebody says, hey, if you have something in your chart, like if you're listening to Molly McCord and she says, look at your chart, and if you have planets or points at this degree, well, you can look at it and find out, and you can look and see where the sun's at, what house it's in. And then from there, you can take it deeper. But yeah, just to get the basics. And we were talking earlier, Lynda, I've been learning astrology or reading the basics of astrology since I was 12 or 13. So sometimes it comes so naturally to me that I forget that unless you've looked at it before, you're not going to have a clue. And I've been doing this for 40 some years, just the basics, and then I dove into it 5.5 years ago. So,
Well, yeah, but you are really good at teaching as well. So I cannot wait for this. But I want to say to you guys, I want to mention out there, anybody who's watching, I got the Bev's website. I got both of our websites, I think, running down the bottom in a banner. If she does your chart for you, she'll send you a chart like this if you've never had one done. And then if, like she said, if you're listening to Molly, or if you're listening to this broadcast, maybe Bev's talking about something about being, so many degrees and, something in Aries, and here it is. And it might be like, oh, you got this at such and such degrees, but you'll be able to look at your chart and be able to see where you have something and follow right along and learn some of the basics, like better than I know them.
and
That's
honestly,
for sure.
honestly too, Lynda, I'm going to do that class because yeah, I'm really being nudged. But
Good.
that Astro Matrix little app that you have, that kind of takes you through some of the basics too. And there were things before I started studying astrology, I used that quite a bit. Now I do a little bit more, but that helped me learn some of the things until I really took the deep dive. So
all right. You
that
still
might
need
help.
this? Do you still need the chart up?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. All right. There you go.
All right.
All
Let me
right.
see. Let me get back to where I was at. See if I can.
You go right ahead. And
okay, so the Virgo new moon.
Hello, right. Sharon. Welcome to the stream. Rachel, nice to see you here. Thanks for coming in, everyone. It's really good to see everybody. All right. Bev, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. No, so just this Virgo new moon, it's getting us back into checking our routines, making sure that we're taking care of ourselves. It's a lot about grounding in, being it's a Virgo, the earth sign. And also checking in on relationships too, because you have Venus is opposing Saturn. So it's kind of like a push-pull. You may feel moved to do something, but you're not quite sure. It's a time to just really look in on what your relationships are, see if they're ones that are actually supporting you, and are they, mutual, or is it just one-sided? And a lot of people are going to be looking at things. You might hear of a lot of breakups, and it's breakups, breakthroughs, and a lot of big life changes right now. And with that Venus opposing Saturn, it's not a good time for financial decisions either. If you could wait a couple days, that would be good, because that's just not good. So we're looking at the financial markets too. So think about that. That means with Venus opposing Saturn, we're looking at Uranus and Taurus, which is all the values, the economics, what we value, what we trade, everything like that. So there might be some announcements there and things changing rapidly and out of the blue. So
kind of like
on that.
the $10,000 and $20,000 student debt forgiveness. Like, it'll be like, that's just the beginning. So just get your seatbelts like ready to buckle up and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Oh, whoops. I was knocking my camera over. Sorry.
That's all right. Also, we have Mercury in the new moon chart is receiving support from Pluto and Mars. So that's a good thing. And Mercury rules Virgo, and it also rules Gemini. It's a co-ruler of Virgo. So that's a good thing. So they're both air signs. They both have that. And Mercury is supporting Mars and Gemini. So thinking it through before you speak. Because Gemini, okay, Mars in Gemini wants to blurt it out, and you have the other end of it. Okay, let's stop. Let's think about this. Mercury being in Libra. Let's talk about this tactfully. Let's approach it on friendly terms, and let's not let it turn into an argument.
And that's just interrupt real quick, because that's what I was saying earlier. If you guys weren't listening to the very beginning of this, I was mentioning I had a little bit of a FUBU today where an old program came through and spoke through me. And I could hear myself as I was saying something to my daughter that absolutely was like somebody from the past. And it was something silly too. And it was just like a question, but it was the way I asked, and it was an old program. So like I wound up backstepping and being like, no, that's not even who I was back then. So like these things happen to us. We do blurt things out, but we have to be willing to, have patience for people that are trying to work through old programs, purge them, transmute them. You become aware of something, and it no longer holds any power over you. So we have to hold space for people
Yes.
while they're doing that. We're all guilty of saying things and doing things. So if you heard me say that before, sorry to repeat myself, just wanted to bring that into reality here. That's our good old Mercury,
Yes.
Mars and Gemini and all of that.
That's all right, because it's opening up communications and stuff, and it's going to be easier to have those conversations. So think about it. If we're getting support
Yes.
from the universe as these things are coming out on a world stage with Mercury and Libra,
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, it's time for us to be able to reach out and put those things aside and try to remember everybody's right where they're at. It's hard to
Yes.
do, I catch myself sometimes saying things, and I'll say, wait a minute, I didn't really mean that. It was
Right.
just something I would have said years ago. So I get that, Lynda.
Yes. And you know what, though? When you said coming out on the world stage, you just made me think of it too. Like I was just seeing a whole wave of forgiveness washing through the grids when you said that. So I think we have to hold space for that vision, because I feel like there's lots of visions that are up there. But when you have people that can bring the vision into a physical expression, whether it's through your words, through drawing, whatever way you bring those things into physicality, through dancing, you get the idea. If somebody expresses a vision and brings it into reality, you share a vision. And when you share a vision of something that's like a wave of forgiveness or understanding or holding space, then we all have a piece of that in our heart. Like I could feel my heart expanding. I could feel the boom, boom, like connections for people that are hearing it, that are resonating. I can hear it. It's
Yes.
weird, but it's awesome. So, all right.
Yes.
All right.
Hang on.
I think you're at Uranus, maybe somewhere up there.
I had a thought, and it just left.
It's
Too, with Mercury being there in Libra too. Libra is also about justice.
oh, really?
So you have the
Yes.
scales and justice. So I think there's going to be some things that are coming out, and it's going to be brought to the justice system too. So that's a good sign there on that front. That was the other thing I wanted to add on that.
That's awesome.
And then you have Saturn opposing that Venus, but it's also opposing Uranus and the North Node still too. So Saturn's saying, okay, are you sure? Are you sure this is how you want to do it? This did not work. We're trying to go towards the future here. Wait a minute. Stop and look a minute and make sure that's what you want to do. So again, it's it's all the words: revise, reassess, reprioritize, make the list, so
Rewind, rework, redress, redress of grievances, please. Thank you very much. All right.
pretty
moving
much,
along.
right now we have all the outer planets are in retrograde, and then Mercury's going to join that next month. So we're going to have 7 planets in retrograde next month. So we've got a lot of rework and reviewing and stuff to do.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Where to start?
I'm thinking I've pretty much hit, and there's something else. So Lynda, if you got something a second, let me just skim my notes for here real quick.
I do. As a matter of fact, thank you very much. I mentioned earlier that my security course, my 2-part security course is coming out. That'll be next week. I'll be making more announcements about it. But I do have two things. I have a chakra course that's going to be coming out in the fall, probably late fall of 2022. And it's on the 9 chakras, not the 7 chakras. And it's going to be not just stuff you can look up and repackage, from online, but it's going to be like an immersive course, and it's going to have information weaved through it that I've experienced in order to open up and connect on the grid work for each chakra. So I'm going to teach about that one. I'm excited to get going on that project. And then I have another project that's top secret, so I can't tell you about it. I have mentioned it in the past, but the timing wasn't right. And also I was guided now and shown, I've always known this part, that I would write 3 books. So the third one is already getting started. So yes, those are my projects that I'm working on now. This is where I'm being guided to go. And you guys heard it first here. So these are just informal announcements because you saw the live, because, you know, whoever's going to watch this is following along anyway. You'll know the things that are right ahead of me. And yeah, you all right there? I saw that, Bev.
I had a bug fly at my face, and it must have landed on me. It was like, oh, get off me. I hate that. Sorry about that.
No,
yeah, looking forward to those, Lynda. I'm curious to see. Check them out, definitely. I've always gotten stuff out of your programs, and I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you too, Bev. Oh, welcome to the stream, Angel. Love you, sister. Glad you made it. Anyone else who's here, if I didn't give you a call out directly, I apologize, but thank you for being here and watching the show and supporting us with all your loving comments. I love you, tribe. I love you so much. I just love you guys.
Thank you all. I appreciate being on here and sharing.
Yeah, and you got other people saying they're going to take your course, which they've said before, so I'm just reminding you, Bev. Just little.
Oh, believe me, Spirit has let me know in no uncertain terms that, yeah, it's kind of like Spirit says, I will tap you, and then I will hit you with a 2x4, so take your pick.
I just punched you when you weren't looking. I was punching at you when you said that.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, there's some things, and I definitely need to get going.
Jeanette. You will. You know what? You set the date, you get it going. I'll help you any way that I can to whatever you need. Like, you got it, sister. We just want to hear your teaching. So
I appreciate it. Yeah, because I'm getting more where I'm feeling a little more confident about doing that. Actually being on here has helped me a lot, Lynda, because I'm not a camera person. Do not like cameras. I just never have.
I didn't
but I'm
either.
Getting past it.
I am too. You just got to do it. Sometimes Spirit has a funny sense of humor, and it's just just show up, and you're like, oh. I was just reading an article I wrote like a year ago, and it was one of the articles I wrote, and I'm looking at it and I'm going in there. I'm talking about just showing up. I was nervous about doing something. Just show up. Okay. That, you know how you do different mantras or things that you say, like I always say, be a little better today. You have your little things you say, but sometimes you cycle through and you go to the next one and then you use that for a little while. Well, that was one of them. Yeah.
That's funny, because I did that one time too. I said, well, let me know what you want me to do, Spirit. Well, the next day I get a call, and somebody was calling to have me come and do public speaking in front of a room of people. Yeah, I was like, no, that was not quite what I wanted, but you gave me the job to do, so I did it. That was the first time I'd ever spoken in front of a crowd. That was a couple of years ago. So,
well, here you go. Here's crowd speak right now. Angel Energy 22 is saying she's in her 20s and she would like to know what advice you would give a young person on the spiritual journey. And she says you seem very wise.
Oh,
yes. What kind of advice are you? Yeah, what kind of advice are you looking for, Angel? You want advice like I could sum it up in 2 words for my advice is just know thyself. It really means a lot more than just that, but that's about the best I could say. What about you, Bev? What kind of advice would you give without knowing what she really means?
Just like that's how I started with astrology. I wanted to know why things were happening in my life and avoid making the same mistakes over and over. So if you can look at your chart and work with the energies and whatever mode you do it, whether it's healing, Reiki, whether it's astrology, whatever, if you look at things and see what's there to work with and then choose how to work with them proactively. And looking at yourself and seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly, that's one of the first steps. That shadow work is a bare but necessary.
Oh, it is. And Rachel's saying too, meditate. Yes, definitely. Knowing thyself, adding in like daily blessings and a prayer list, like gratitude, being grateful for things, like every little thing. Just take the time. Don't think that anything is too much trouble or too much time or too much effort. If it's in your path, it's in your path for a reason, because we're all like, like magnetricity. We're all polar. We all have poles. So you have like a yin to a yang. You get all that, right? Divine feminine, divine masculine. We have magnetism and electricity. It's called magnetricity. So you attract and you repel people, places, and things in and out of your life, to and from you, that you need for your growth. So if you're resonating a certain frequency, you're attracting. If you're not resonating, you're repelling. So you just want to look at what's in your path every time and what kind of meaning does it have? Are you the teacher or are you the student? Are you observing things? Are you witnessing things? Or are you creating things? You can be both. You can be all of them. But knowing
Yes.
thyself, going within, like Angel said, and
And stepping back and detaching yourself from the emotions, if you can do that, and looking at a problem situation or a repeating pattern that you see that you don't like, step back and try to see it from a different perspective, and not as the ego self, because we all have ego, and ego is a good thing. Ego protects us, but you also have to learn how to evolve the ego too, because it can keep you safe, and it can be a good or a bad thing. It's just how you use it.
Yes. Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, let's see. Anybody else have any more questions? Bev, did you finish up your thing, or did you have one more?
No, I think I pretty much kind of covered it all. Yeah, just
I'm going to check my notes too here.
Bite your tongue if you have to. Know that these conversations can happen, though. You just got to think before you speak, and learn how to look at it with Mercury and Libra from both situations and both sides, and try to stay open. That's a big thing right now, because okay, you have the new moon in Virgo, which is a mutable sign, and you have Mars in Gemini, which is a mutable sign too. And those are signs that they adapt well, they're flexible. So that's a big thing right now. So kind of like with the Mercury retrograde, with Uranus retrograde, you want to find that.
Yeah.
Find that adaptability, and if something doesn't quite go your way, I mean, I used to be a type of person, if something changed, it really upset me, and I was pretty dogmatic, I guess, about things, and I learned to change that. And now people who haven't talked to me, or are so used to me acting a certain way, they'll say, "Wait a minute, that didn't upset you?" "No, I just went on about my days. It's good."
Yes, that's what makes it all worthwhile, when you start gaining that inner peace. And one of the things you're making me think about, Angel Energy 22, doing the security course and teaching about upgrading security, like everything that you either learn in a class or read in a book, and something that you're learning, or teach, if you're teaching or instructing something, you kind of have the universe, when you start showing up to show you that you're in the right place, or exactly the right place that you need to be. And some of those things are because you're living through with a fine-tooth comb, kind of like Uranus going in retrograde. You're literally, you might have learned something, so you think, oh, Spirit wants me to teach this now. Okay, you might have a little hesitancy, and then you start to go to do it, and then you're like, oh, I know this, and then you start doing it, and then Uranus goes back and makes you live through it again, just to make sure you got everything buttoned up, just to make sure you got all the details.
Right, right. I'll hand it to you on a different platter.
It's exactly what happened with this security class, I'm telling you, because the peace that you get inside when I'm teaching people, one of the things I've always been teaching with this, but I'm teaching this actively now in the course, is 7D and higher is where you need to set your baseline frequency for, like, telepathic defense systems, for example. And when you do this, it's almost like you get this vacuum, and there's this inner sense of peace when you don't have all the signals and the noise bothering you. It's almost like, oh, that's what it feels like to not have all this bothersome signals, and you can meditate better or whatever. And you may or may not want to just sit and om and meditate. You may want to actively communicate with some of your higher aspects, or different frequency bands, or guides or mentors or gurus, your inner teachers, your higher selves, whatever you want to call them. And so, like, this is all the kind of stuff that I get into in my security class, about how to button these up and how to upgrade your security. But you do get that inner peace. Absolutely. You get an inner sense of, like, less noise, less bothersome, and if you choose to come down from 7D to maybe 6D or 5D, and you want to telepathically interchange with somebody, you have control over that. You don't have to stay like 7D and above, but you're just not going to get bothered all day long by signals or unwanted telepathy or signals. You have a working relationship. Hopefully you get to a partnership with your higher selves. And that's when you become one on the team. So
Definitely going to be checking it out, Lynda. Yeah, because there's some days that it's hard to remove myself from those distractions. Yeah, I still have a hard time. But you have to realize, look at how much stimuli we have around us. I mean, 50 years
Bev,
ago, this wasn't happening.
I have an idea for you for the course too. I'm going to talk to you about that after.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, this is good stuff. I think the astrological stuff that's lining up is divine timing, like you said. Wasn't there something, were we talking about something where it was 2018, something was supposed to happen and it didn't? And this is sort of like our chance, were you saying something about this? Or did I hear that on the Sacred Scribes? See, I think of you as a sacred scribe.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember talking about it, Lynda, unless when
okay.
we were talking specifics and charts, but no, I don't remember that.
Okay. So like this is it. Yeah, this must have been something I was overlaying from another program. Sorry about that.
No problem at all.
And I'm talking about psychic things and like no interference and all of that, and I'm crisscrossing my own wires. That's great.
That's all right.
Well, I think the signals, they're going to cross. We've got so much grid work going on. If you think of each chakra connecting to a different piece of the grid work, it's like driving on the highways. You might have a main highway to get somewhere, but you also might be able to get there from a back road. And the back road might be a scenic route, might be a better way to go. So it's the same thing with our energy as it travels. You may not want to take the main highways because they're too fast, too busy, and it's not the beautiful scenic way.
Yes.
So
it's all about your perspective. It really is.
Yeah.
But do the self-care. Very important.
Yeah. Well, with that course on the security, I'll be letting you guys know that'll be coming out like next week. So I'll make a post or an announcement or something like that and send you a link to my website. It'll be right on the courses and books page. So
awesome.
I'll have it available like on demand. And then the other one on the chakras will be out later. So you, Bev, you'll let us know too when you're going to set up your time for a course. You want to just maybe just an hour or just an hour and a half, maybe 90 minutes or 2 hours or whatever you want to do. And
probably about an hour. I'm gonna lay it out and try to. I don't know. I'll talk to you a little bit more about it. We may just do kind of a sample. I may do like a sample run and just kind of bounce some things.
Well, if you want, we could do it. I could host it for you. If you want to do it on like StreamYard or something, we can do it as an unlisted thing and we can all get together and you can just do it like offline without streaming it online, but we can all meet up if you want. If you need someone to host it for you, I'm happy to do it.
Thank you. You know what? Yeah, that's another idea too. I'm kind of running a couple ways in my head how to do this, but yeah, I definitely will get that going soon. I got to do it by the time my new solar return rolls around. So
when's that?
October.
Oh yeah, that's right. Solar return.
Libra. Yes.
I was thinking of Pluto return when you said solar for some reason. Yikes.
Or maybe that's part of bringing it out at that time because I'm starting out the new year. Let's start it out right. Okay. Ooh. I gave myself a goal.
And the autumn is the harvest. So you've got your
yes.
birthday is at the harvest. Oh, that's perfect timing.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you all to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. But if you want to reach out to Bev, I'm going to run this across real quick here. One more time and check out her mysoulsongs.com for personal reading. She'll send you the chart, and then that way you can take her course and learn how to read when other people are talking about something being in a house or a transit going on or of something certain degrees. You guys will know what she's talking about. And there we go. So final words, Bev?
Just be kind to yourself, and you may need some solitude after a couple of rough days here with this new moon, but I see a lot of support coming in. So take that support, sit back, give yourself some time to process and watch your words.
Yes, that's great advice. And I want to thank you, Bev, for being here tonight, for all your wisdom and your knowledge. You bring it across so well. We're so grateful for you. And everybody joining us live in the chat. And even if you didn't make a comment and you're tuning into this later, thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time and your energy with us. We love you so much. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, this is Lynda. Thanks for tuning in. If you resonate with this video or if you receive some benefit from it, would you please consider sharing it?